Hi, myself Parthabatim Sharma, and I am welcoming all of you to our JigYaasa classes. Today we will start with our first chapter in high secondary second year physics, that is electric charges and field, and these are the topic of discussions. So we will basically start with what is charge. So if I ask you what do you mean by charge, then you in return you can ask me what is the definition of mass. So I have no answer then, because charge and mass are two fundamental quantities that have no any definitions. So give you a proper illustration, I use some example. These are two massive objects separated by distance d. Then they will feel some gravitational force of attraction. Why they feel gravitational force? Because they have masses, right? Then if we consider two charges separated by the same distance d, then they will feel some coulombic force. It may be repulsive force if they are like charges, that means plus charge, and they will feel attractive Coulomb force when one of them is negatively charged. So why they feel coulombic force? Because they have a fundamental quantity, that is charge, right? So what is the charge of electron? Minus 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb. Charge of electron is negative and that of proton is positive. They have the same value of coulomb. So coulomb is the measure of charge. So now, how a body gets charged? If it acquires some electrons or protons, then it will be charged. Otherwise, it is neutral. That is, the number of positive and negative charges are equal. Then I move to the topic that is method of charging. Our first technique is rubbing. By rubbing, we can get charged. If I rub a glass rod, suppose this is a glass rod and this is a silk cloth. If I rub my glass rod with a silk cloth, then the glass rod will acquire some positive charge and silk cloth will acquire some negative charge due to the phenomenon of friction. Actually, due to the friction, we get charges. Then our next technique is by conduction. Suppose I kept two bodies in touch. One of them is, say, negatively charged and one of them is neutral. Then due to the contact, the negative charge from A will move to B and B acquires some negative charges. This is the method of conduction, in fact. Our next technique is induction. In case of induction, we keep the two bodies at a distance. In this case, they are not kept in contact. Suppose one of them is positively charged. Then due to the induction, the other will get reverse polarized. That is it acquires some negative charges. So this is basically the method of induction for charging. Now suppose I need to check a body whether it is charged or not. Then I have to use gold leaf electroscope. So what is gold leaf electroscope? So it basically comprises of a chamber connected by a rod, and on the other end of the rod we have two gold plates. Now suppose I placed a unknown body on the other end of the rod. Let's say it is positively charged. Then what will happen? Due to the conduction, the positive charges will flow from this end to this end, and the gold plates gets positively charged. Then what will happen? Due to the Coulombic force of repulsion, they will repel each other. Now we can say from the repelling that the unknown body is positively charged. If the unknown body have no any charges, that is if the unknown body is neutral, then what will happen? The gold leaf will not repel each other. This is the basic principle of gold leaf electroscope. So now I move to the other topic, that is the properties of charge. So our first property is charges are additive in nature. Suppose we have a system of comprises of n number of charges ranging from Q1 to Qn. Then the total charge of the system will be Q1 up to Qn. Just we have to add those charges. So this is basically the additive property of charge. Then our next property is conservation of charge. Conservation of charge. This property tells us that charges never be created nor be destroyed. For example, we cannot create an electron or destroy the electron. Our third property is quantization of charge. So this property tells us that in nature we have systems which is integer multiple of basic electronic charge. So in that equation you can see E is the charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, and n is the integer ranging from 1 to infinite. So to understand this quantization property, I will use some example. Suppose I have a system of charge 3/2e. So in the example we have 1e plus half e. That is, in that system we have 1 electron and half of a electron. By the conservation principle, we cannot create a charge or destroy a charge. So in this case we cannot divide a electron. So in nature you cannot get 3/2e kind of charges. In nature we get only 1e, 2e, 3e, integer multiple of e charges. So in our next lecture we will provide the concepts of Coulomb's law and the electric field. So thank you.